Hi, y'all. This week I've been tagged by Big Joe and Meleah's World, one of my favorite channels and the channel that nudged me to get started doing all this crazy crap, in the Halloween Horror Challenge. It's a set of 13 questions that has to do with your favorite Halloween stuff. This will be a little bit different from the last one, which dealt with fall. You know, fall's its own separate thing from Halloween. In the description, I'll leave the link to Big Joe and Meleah's video where they answer these questions. I will also leave the link to the MDT show because he's the one who tagged them and he has some really cool Halloween stuff. He's a big Halloween person, like a lot of us are. And I'll also leave a link to the channel that started all this, I think. I can't think of the name of it right now, but I will leave it in the description for you. So any of y'all that have known me for any length of time know I love Halloween. I love scary movies. I love scary stuff. A lot of the people who watch my channel are familiar with my collection of body parts. There's the hand. I don't have all of them on here for obvious reasons. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get started with the questions. Do you celebrate Halloween or is it just another day? I think even if you're one of those people who hates Halloween for whatever reason, you have to admit it's not just another day. Like, I celebrate Halloween. Some would probably say I celebrate it year round. I'm not quite that into it, but I do love Halloween, and yes, it is a day I celebrate and have for years. Can't say my entire life because I used to be a big chicken. I'll get to that, some of that with one of these other questions later. Oh, God! Do you decorate for Halloween? And if so, what is your favorite decoration? Normally, I go all out for decorating. The past 3-4 years, I've not really been able to decorate a whole lot. This year, I'm probably going to do more than I have in the past 2 or 3, but I haven't yet. I'm not going to go full on because the only people that'll see it are me and Peggy, and she's not really a people. She's just an aggravating thing laying on the floor over here. My favorite Halloween decoration, that's a hard call. I would think I have a big inflatable black cat that's wearing a witch's hat. That's probably my favorite thing I have. Or I have a skull, not this one, it's a little bit bigger than this one, that has black roses growing out of its head, and when you walk by it, it's motion activated, and it plays the funeral march and the flowers dance. That's one of my favorites. I've had that thing for a long time. I can't believe it's still in one piece. What's your favorite Halloween candy? That's hard because I'd immediately go for anything sour. As y'all know, I love the sour stuff. If I were going to take the sour stuff out of the equation, I would have to say my favorite Halloween candy is Reese Cups. And you all know from my last vlog that I love the Reese pumpkins that come out at Halloween because there's so much more peanut butter to them. But I'll also admit here that I'm one of those people who likes candy corn, and I push it up on my teeth. Yeah, I eat candy corn. What's your favorite Halloween memory? Now, I have lots of favorite Halloween memories. I used to be a huge chicken. I was afraid of scary costumes, scary movies, haunted houses, the word Halloween, anything. Couldn't deal with it. I hated it so much. My mom's side of the family used to throw a huge Halloween party in my Aunt Darlene's basement every year. And they would take turns drawing to see who would host the Halloween party each year, be responsible for the food and decorating and all that. And they did not play around. Like, they went all out decorating and getting ready for these parties. One part of the basement was always a haunted house and that kind of thing. I would not go down the basement steps until they turned the lights on. That was me. Every year, I would just sit at the top of the stairs and listen and worry to death about everybody that's down there as I thought they were being killed and all that kind of stuff. And then once they turn the lights on, I'd go downstairs and eat and be a part of the party and play the games and all that kind of stuff. But I think, too, over the years, those parties is what got me over being afraid of all that stuff. Because eventually I did make it downstairs while the lights were off. It may have gotten me over my fear of scary stuff too well. Now I really like the scary stuff. But back then I was scared to death. My favorite Halloween memory, though, I think, is probably when I was a reporter, and it was going to be the first year I was going out taking trick-or-treat pictures for the newspaper. I can't remember which newspaper I worked for or what town, but I wanted to incorporate my camera into my costume because I would walk around with my camera all night. Those of you who watched the TV show Roseanne remember their Halloween episodes. In the very first Halloween episode they did, Becky dressed up like a flight attendant who had been in a plane crash and her arm was missing. I thought, I could do that and be a plane crash victim, tourist, with the camera and all this. So I went to Goodwill and got a shirt, cut one of the arms off and burned it, stuffed it like a bloody nub, burnt some more big places in my clothes. I did the whole oatmeal and latex, fake blood on my face, looked like I'd been burnt and all that kind of stuff. And off I went to take pictures of trick-or-treaters that were dressed like Disney princesses and cowboys and all this kind of stuff. I hadn't been out too long. I don't even think I'd taken a whole roll of film yet. And the neighborhood I was in, there was a woman come up and said, some of the parents are very disturbed by your costume and we want to ask you to leave the neighborhood. So I had to leave the neighborhood. My costume was too bad. But, you've come up with a killer Halloween costume when a whole neighborhood asks you to leave. Number 5. If you're invited to a Halloween party, what would be your dream costume and do you choose to go? Who in their right mind would not go? If you're invited to a Halloween party, go. If you're invited to any kind of party, go. Somebody took the time to invite you and think of you. You should at least show up for a little while. It's a Halloween party, yeah. Halloween parties are awesome. As far as my favorite costume, I don't really know that I have like a dream costume, something that I would, like if I had my pick of any costume. I do tend to lean more towards the scary stuff. I like to kind of be spooky and mysterious. There was one year here in town, some friends that used to live here had massive Halloween party. I wasn't going to be able to go because work was getting in the way. That job got in the way of a lot of things in life. But I decided at the last minute I was going to go, and I didn't have really a costume planned or put together. So I just put on some big baggy clothes, a big suit coat, and this big pig mask that covered my whole face and stuff. And I walked into the party, and I did not say a word to anybody. If people asked me questions, I'd nod or shake my head. Did not speak, would not tell anybody who I was. And after a couple hours, people really started freaking out because they were starting to wonder, who is this that has walked into our Halloween party and why won't they talk? So I finally did reveal who I was. And I was shocked because I'd already said I wasn't going to be there. That was fun. I don't know if this is a dream or not, but I think it will be fun to go to a party or even like to a bar in one of those full body gorilla costumes and just not talk to anybody and do the same thing. That way nobody knows who you are. And then you really mess with the people that you know, because if you tell them you're not going and then you show up dressed like that, they're not going to know who you are. You can have fun with that kind of stuff. Do you prefer to see a Halloween movie in a movie theater or stay home and have a Halloween movie marathon? I am not a big fan of going to the movie theater. In the last 20 or 25 years, I've been to the movie theater a total of 3 times. The last 3 movies I saw at a movie theater were The Mule. Last year, my friend Maria took me for my birthday. The last movie I'd seen in a theater before that was Benjamin Buttons. And the last movie I had seen in a movie theater before that was The Blair Witch Project. So I'm not really a big movie theater kind of person. I'd much rather stay home and watch a movie or just marathon them or marathon a scary TV show or something like that. What are your go-to Halloween movies? This is a question that I could sit here all night and answer because I love Halloween movies and scary movies. I think if I'm going for something that's not the scary, typical slasher or whatever kind of scary movies, it's Nightmare Before Christmas. I think that's a given. Goes without saying. That's one of my favorite movies, period. I love that movie. If I'm going for the scary stuff, my new favorite scary movie is Trick or Treat. And I think Joe mentioned this in Big Joe and Meleah's video about this. Trick or Treat, I can't remember how long ago I watched it. It wasn't real long ago. And I was very surprised how much I liked it. I was very surprised how well it was put together and written, because we don't have scary movies nowadays like we had in the 80s and the 90s, where there was that character that you knew, like Jason and Freddy and Pinhead and all those people. And to me, that's what that movie put back into things with Trick or Treat. I don't want to say a whole lot about it in case you haven't seen it, but it is an excellent, excellent scary movie. And I'm glad I decided to sit down and watch it because I wasn't going to watch it. My other go-tos, I'm always big on the Unholy Trinity. Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers. I love the Hellraiser movies. Any Stephen King, which is not really like slasher scary, but those were scary. Particularly The Shining, Children of the Corn, Carrie, and Christine are some good ones. And I really like, was it called The Mist or The Fog? Where the people were trapped in the grocery store and there was the fog outside. One or the other. If you've not seen that one, that's a really good Stephen King movie. And I don't think it's all that old. So that's pretty much what I go to for Halloween. I'm not much a great pumpkin kind of person when it comes to Halloween movies. I will say this too. It's not a movie. It's a TV show. I'm obsessed with American Horror Story. And in particular, the first season was a work of art. So that's something I binge watch. I binge watch those year round. If I don't have anything to watch, I'll put in a season of American Horror Story. But particularly around Halloween, and most particularly that first season.
Nice work, Bone Daddy.
Which is your favorite Halloween villain between the Unholy Trinity of Jason, Freddy, and Michael? And mine is Jason. Hands down, no question asked, and I'll tell you why. Jason was a little boy who the camp counselors let him drown. They weren't paying attention to him, and he had disabilities. They should have been keeping an eye on him. He drowned. And if you remember in the first Friday the 13th movie, Jason isn't even in it. Jason's mother is the one who killed everybody. Jason doesn't show up until the second Friday the 13th movie. So Jason wanted retribution. He was done wrong. You know, that's why he was out killing people. And I know in the later Friday the 13th movies, it got really stupid because different directors got a hold of the character and he turned into a monster. He wasn't even human anymore, and that was ridiculous to me. Don't get me started on Jason Takes Manhattan and was it Jason X, the one where they're in outer space? There's a warm seat in hell waiting on whoever come up with those two. I did like the remake of Friday the 13th that came out maybe about 10 years ago or so. I don't know exactly when. Because it took Jason back to being a person instead of a monster. He was actually a human again. And that's who he was to begin with. You know, that was the whole reason for the story. That was the whole reason things went crazy at Camp Crystal Lake. It's because Jason was seeking retribution, not just for his death, but the death of his mom. So, Jason, hands down, no questions asked. What is your favorite Universal monster? It's an easy one. I think Big Joe said this too. I like the creature from the Black Lagoon. For some of the same reasons that I like Jason, the creature from the Black Lagoon was not bothering anybody. He was out there in the swamp, just living his best life, you know, doing what he could. And those people came out there bothering him. You know, you can't blame the man or creature, whatever that thing was. They were aggravating him. They were tearing up his house, disturbing his peace. He had every right to go off. So I absolutely like the creature from the Black Lagoon the best out of the Universal monsters. What is your favorite Halloween song? There's two. The first one is This Is Halloween from Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't like musicals. Like, I'm not into musicals and that kind of thing, but I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I like all the songs that are in it, but that one is absolutely my favorite from that movie. My overall favorite Halloween song is by a band called Creature Feature, and the song is called The Greatest Show Unearthed. And I will put a link to that song down in the description in case you've never heard of it, because it's a really good Halloween song. If you were cast in a Halloween movie, would you be the first to die, the comedian, the killer, or the last one standing? Every time I've taken those quizzes online that talks about who you would be in a scary movie, I always get the killer. I don't know that I would argue with that. If I wasn't the killer, I would say I would be one of the last ones standing, maybe not the last one. And it's not because I'm some kind of a badass or something like that and think I could take on the killer and survive. It's because my determination to see what was going to happen next would probably overpower the killer's determination to get me, because I got to see what's going on and what's going to happen. So I would probably make it pretty far till the end just because I want to stick around and see what happens. Have you ever been to an actual haunted house or a place that is haunted? And that answer is yes. I'm sitting in a haunted house right now. This, where I live, is haunted. I won't go into a lot of the details about that for reasons, per people's privacy and that kind of thing. A lot of you already know the story. If you don't know the story, message me on Facebook or whatever. I'll tell you. I don't mind telling you. I just don't feel comfortable putting it out for the world to see on YouTube. I don't think that would be very nice. There have even been people, when I have been on people's panels and live streams, have seen things either in the doorway back behind me. Somebody saw an orb. I got up once to go use the bathroom and they saw an orb float up beside of me and follow me out the door. The first night I slept here, I had all the boxes that were emptied out from unpacking in the kitchen stacked up, and I heard a really loud noise, and they were all over the kitchen, like scattered everywhere. This place is haunted. I think I mentioned in my video about our cabin at the farm that there's some things, I don't know, spooky things or unexplainable things that have happened up there. I'm not going to tell you my good one, because I do want to do a vlog on it before too long while the leaves are looking good and we can go up there and run around in the woods and I'll tell you the scary stuff. I've also been to Waverly Hills Sanatorium, and if there's anything haunted on this earth, it's Waverly Hills. And I can't really say I had any experiences that were there. There was one thing. We went at Halloween when they're having the haunted house, and the entire first floor pretty much is a haunted house they do as a fundraiser to work on the building and keep it up and that kind of thing. And my friend that was with me, we were in line 3 hours, and the line stretched the entire back side of the building. And while we're there, we were looking up and you could see like lights blink and stuff up on the top floors. So we ended up talking to somebody that was working there. I can't remember if it was before we went in or after we came out, one or the other, but we were telling them about the security people we saw in the upstairs with the flashlights. And like, there are no security people up there. There's nobody up there. Anything above the first floor right now is boarded off. Like, you can't get up there. So I don't know if we were seeing ghosts or boogers or what up there. There was something up there. And if that guy was telling the truth, it was not a security guard. And finally, the last question. Ouija board, yes or no? There's a Ouija board in my kitchen right now, and if I lean over this way, I can see it sticking out of the box. That's it over there. It's a glow-in-the-dark Ouija board. I don't think it was mine. I think somebody left it at my house a long time ago. I've had it for years. It's not even in the box anymore. It's just the board and the little plastic thing in a box. Playing with one, I've not played with one in ages. I'd even go so far to say that I've not played with one since high school, probably. We never had any strange experience or anything scary. It was always, you're pushing it, no, you're pushing it. And or if there were anything, like if it did spell anything, it was just like random letters. And so really, it's a decoration. It's in the decoration box. So those are my 13 answers to the Halloween Horror Tag Challenge. And now it's my turn to tag somebody else. Actually, I'm going to tag 3. I think that's how many you're supposed to tag. And you all know I use my trusty, very technologically advanced choosing system to see who I'm going to pick. I have taken out the names of people who I know have been tagged already and the people who tagged me. And I've also taken out the names of the people who I tagged in the last video. So that way I'm not double dipping or anything like that. This is another Halloween fan. I know this for a fact because he makes scary videos. It's Bob at Misfits and Dreamers up in New York. This is not rigged in any way. This person was just saying 2 nights ago, maybe, how they never get tagged in anything. Time to make a video, Carla. It's Suburban Florida Outdoors. One more. I should have took him out. That's a boo-boo. It's Bone Daddy. But Bone Daddy has already been tagged and done a video, so. Not that I don't like you. Oh, I'm really excited about this one. Oh my God. It's Karen, White Witch 101 up in Ottawa, Canada. Karen has some really cool Halloween craft videos. I'm definitely encouraging you to go check some of these out. So I will put the links to all these people's channels down in the description so you can check them out and see how they answer these questions. And like I said earlier, I will also put other channels who I know who have done this challenge and the people who tagged me down in the description so you can see their answers and the link to my favorite Halloween song. That way you can check it out if you want to. So as always, you all know I really do appreciate you watching. Sometimes I wonder why you do, but a lot of you seem to like it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. We've talked about the bell. I'll talk to y'all later.